Welcome back to the channel. This is the Casuals. I'm Jin,
And I'm Zaki.
and today's episode is Meal for Two. We're finally back at Meal for Two, but in not following exactly the same format where we go around reviewing. This time is a little bit different, and the things that I guess we should actually start off this episode with the theme, right? And I thought I was so brilliant for this. Eh, the theme is culinary. No, it's frick. I already forgot about it. Somehow I forgot my genius. It's called that. How did I forget the title? This is so strange. I had it. Did you ever? Did that ever happen to you? Or like you're about to say it and then you just suddenly cannot like remember what you were about to say?
Maybe third of the time, yeah.
Damn, what was it? It was Culinary Confusion Cuisines. That's what it was.
I wouldn't have remembered that, so good for you.
Yeah, so the theme and title of this episode is Culinary Confusion Cuisines. CCC, baby! Um, and what kind of started this was one day after work, we were just kind of like, hey, I want to try eating at this, like, kind of like teriyaki California. Like, so, I don't know if it's common in other states, but it's kind of common in California where there's a there's a place that sells teriyaki like rice bowls and everything, and they also sell like kind of like sushi on the side, which is like the rolls, California rolls. And so frequently you see them being called like California teriyaki places, and kind of scattered throughout the entirety of California from what I've seen. And there was a place like that we wanted to go to, and kind of like a couple doors over, there was literally a Mexican like tamales place that also sold other things more than tamales, but they were mainly known for the tamales. And we were just like, why not both? And so we went ahead and got both, and it became a clash of Mexican and I guess Japanese, foods. And in some context, it sounds okay, depending on where you go. And in most cases, they just look at you weird, like, why on earth, right? Um, and so I guess we want to talk about that and talk more about, what we think about this kind of like culinary mishmash of foods. And so to go to the first place, the place that we've been going for the first, for our goal rather, our priority was the sushi place, the California teriyaki place. And there's one particular thing about them, right? It's good food, by the way. Their teriyaki is really good. I've had it before. But the only reason why I even knew about it was because you told me about them, that they had a very particular thing about their food.
Yeah, so I think I went there like once or twice before, and that's how I knew. But yeah, their prices were actually decent. Like not really overpriced, but when you order sushi, you know how sushi's supposed to be eaten in one bite, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Their sushi, maybe to average people, is like two bites. Maybe three to like people with like smaller like mouths that can't like take a large bite.
Mm-hmm.
But what they're like the diameter of like a golf ball or something, like
Yes!
crazy large, and you're just like, oh, they're very wide pieces of sushi, and they're not really, I don't know, traditionally made because I'll go over what I got. I got a crunch roll.
Mm-hmm.
A crunch roll is a California roll with a piece of the shrimp tempura in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top, there's like little fried, crunchy pieces of like the tempura, like that falls off and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, pretty simple. Ordered it. And when I got home, I opened the box. The things were literally like mini hockey pucks. But instead of like just a little sprinkle of the crumble on top, what you're usually supposed to,
Mm-hmm.
no, they just covered that whole thing in the crunchy part. So it was just a layer of the crunchy part. You couldn't even see the sushi. So I was like, oh. I mean, I like the crunchy part, but I was not expecting an entire. They basically like just took a giant scoop and just like poured it all over.
When they were saying Crunchyroll, they really meant crunch.
No kidding. They literally meant, oh, you want a crunchy roll? You're gonna get a crunchy roll.
And when Saki is talking about the diameter of a golf ball, he is not joking. It is literally the diameter of a golf ball, or even maybe larger, to be honest. Um, it is freaking humongous. And the roll I got, and this is not the exception to the roll that he got, which was the country roll. It was the same for my roll. It's a city roll, by the way. I'm not gonna say this full name, but just it's like their own specialty roll, and it's the same ginormous size. I didn't believe him when he first told me about this. By the way, I found it hard to believe that they would make a huge ass roll like that. Um, and then come to find out, the first time I went, and I went by myself for the first time. And I opened, I was just like, oh. I was like, normally when you open those to-go boxes, it's like a small line, right? You know what I mean? Like those small lines that goes from end to end for the box.
Yep.
This one was a very big line that took up nearly half the space of the box.
Yeah. It was basically, you can go for sushi or you can go for sushi. And we go for sushi. It was large. I mean, I'm not complaining. I was just like, oh, I just was like, all right, they know how to make sushi, but like, holy smokes, like steroids.
Yeah, and Saki mentioned before that they were pretty good price. My price of the sushi was 13 like 95 or something like that. Essentially $14. That is cheap. Technically, it's a steal for that humongous of a roll.
Yeah, you basically got like double roll
You
because
did.
it was that large.
Yeah, instead of 8 pieces, it's like 16 pieces.
I think I ordered a 10 because it came in a 5 or 10.
Yeah, you did.
So I think I got a 10 piece, but it felt like it could have been a 20 and it was 9.95. And I was just like, really? Only $10 for a crunch roll? That's not bad. And then you see what it looks like. And you're like, wow, I got a steal, really.
Yeah. It is. Oh, and I guess the catch with this place, I assume. I don't know if this plays into like the fact of their menu prices, right? But they're only open on weekdays. Because a lot of restaurants tend to be open during the weekends too. But this one is only open on weekdays. They do not even open like half day on Saturday or Sunday. It's just closed on Saturday and Sunday. So I don't know what they're doing to keep that price and have those humongous rolls. Like whoever goes out eating sushi next time and you see your regular size roll, imagine that but twice as bigger, if not almost 2.5 times that size. That is what we're talking about. We are not exaggerating when we're saying it's huge. And to those who be like, oh, maybe it's padded with a lot of rice to make it more thicker. No, the fillings are equally as much.
Yeah, it's basically taking two pieces and putting into one. It's just, the proportions are correct. It's just giant.
And Saki was just like, you want sushi or sushi? It's like you just made like a big hunk of sushi and you're like, I did not expect this. How do I eat this all?
Yeah, it's ridiculously good. I mean, it was good. And it was pretty quick. Like 5 minutes.
Yeah, they were really fast. I was like, yeah, 5 minutes, dude. They were on the dot. Like, granted that there wasn't that many people there,
True.
but still, it's still pretty fast for getting out a huge roll like that. I imagine it takes some serious manpower to make a huge roll like that.
Yeah. Because, yeah, man, there's just, I don't know what else to say. Just giant sushi, good price.
Next time if we buy it, I want to like measure it with like a tape measure.
It'd be like, diameter 2 inches.
Probably, yeah. It's probably 2 inches to be honest.
Maybe we'll have to get it one day during the week again.
Yeah. And personally, on my side, I tried their teriyaki bowls before, or teriyaki plate. It's pretty damn good too, by the way. So they aren't like slacking in
Well,
some other areas. They're just good.
this is a you hope it'd be good. I mean, they only do like two things, so you'd hope they'd be good at
Hmm.
those two.
And so, yeah, like just know that there's an existence of a golf-sized uh, sushi roll. I don't even know if people would call that normal sushi. That's just sushi on steroids.
I bet if you put all the pieces, lined up like in a roll before you cut it,
Mm-hmm.
it could be the size of like a Taco Bell burrito.
Yeah.
But it's just like that ridiculous.
Yeah. So that's the California teriyaki sushi place, and a couple doors over, there's tamales place, and you and I were just like, I think we decided at like the last moment we are just like, fuck it, let's hit it up.
Yeah.
And so we went, and this place is only open either two ways. One, it's during the normal store time, or two, when they're sold out. And
Right.
you've experienced it multiple times, right?
Yeah, like once they're sold out, then they're sold out of that for the day. Of whatever item, so
And
it's
you've got.
unfortunate, but
Mhm.
that just kind of shows also how good it is that it sells out.
Yeah. And we went in there, and there was no one there, literally no one, except for one dude.
Yeah.
And I got I believe is the chicharron tamales.
Mm-hmm.
They had a
And
chicharron tamales. That surprised me. I never heard of a chicharron tamales before, but they had one.
how was it?
It was actually decent. I was thinking it was a little bit odd because I thought for some reason when I heard of chicharron, I thought it was like one of those crunchier things. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Those crispy things.
Yeah.
And so when I got it, it was actually not crispy at all. It was just gelatinous. It was like those actual gelatinous stuff.
Oh.
And
Okay.
so I was thrown off by it, but it actually was pretty nice. I mean, like I think the tamales itself had like because of the way it's made, like it definitely helped like kind of like absorb that gelatinous, flavor.
Uh-huh.
And so I would say I wouldn't mind getting it again, but I would definitely try other things like their like the chicken red sauce, whatever. I think that's called it, like pollo verde or something like that.
Verde's green, but yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
I think Rojas.
Roja, it's Roja. There you go. Yeah, pollo Roja. I would get that next time just to try it out. But yeah, definitely the chicharron was interesting. I never really encountered it before. So it was an eye opener. I thought it was gonna be crispy, but nope, just was straight up gelatinous stuff.
Huh. I think I got a different one. I think I just got pork.
I think you did, yeah.
Yeah, I think I usually get pork, not the chicharron. That's why. Anyways, we also got empanadas.
Mm-hmm.
And we both got they had beef and chorizo queso or
Mhm.
something. And I got one of each because I was genuinely curious.
Mm-hmm.
The beef one I thought was it was all right. I thought it'd be like asada or something.
Mm-hmm.
It was not, so I was like, oh well. But the chorizo one, whoo, I'd get those in a heartbeat again.
Unfortunately, I was interested in the chorizo, but I don't know if I ever even talked about this on this channel specific. I may have not, but I'm lactose intolerant. And so cheese is out of the options for me normally. I could have gotten it because I did have lactate pills, but for some reason I was just like, my usual instinct is don't get anything with cheese in it.
Yeah.
So I ended up not getting it, but I'll definitely get it next time. But yeah, the way you described it, it made it sound like it was fantastic.
It was pretty good. And then especially because they put like forget what they put on top of it, but there's like a cream sauce and some. I think it was a cheese as well.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't remember what it was exactly, but they basically loaded that sucker up, and that was pretty good.
And I remember talking to you about this. Like, I was like, mine was surprisingly spicy. There was, for some reason, there was like some sort of spiciness towards it. It was nice though, but it wasn't the same for you.
For the
The empanada.
Yeah, mine wasn't that spicy. The tacos I got were spicy,
Mm-hmm.
spicier, but I don't. I think because I ate the tacos first and then the empanadas, that's probably
Oh,
spicy because the tacos were spicy.
yeah. Yeah, that might have been the reason actually.
That's the only thing I could think of.
And the tacos, what did you get specifically?
The queso birria tacos,
And how were those?
those weren't bad. I've had better tacos, but since it's literally like right here next to us, I
Mm-hmm.
would go back for those if I wanted a quick taco. Actually, I now want to compare those tacos, the burrito tacos, to the Cali Baja place.
Ooh.
Because the Cali Baja place, we praise it so much.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know the differences between those two places now.
Yeah, we have to like eat there and immediately head over to Calibaja.
Yep, be like 2 tacos from each place. Which one's better?
From my heart, I feel like Calibaja would win.
I think so too.
Just because I had such an eye-opening experience with the shrimp one.
Oh, shrimp, yeah.
I feel like it's impossible to beat that kind of first-time experience with it.
That is true.
When we're giving high praise to California Baja tacos. It genuinely is that good. Like, when we don't exaggerate, we tend to not exaggerate like our feelings about food. We are pretty stuck realistic. Like, we're pretty realistic about it. As if you've seen in our previous like meal for two, we also consider price as a factor, right? And we're not rich. We're we're pretty okay, but we're not to the point where we can be like, hey, let's get a like $80 steak at a fancy steakhouse. That's a waste of money to us. um, yeah, so we're pretty well grounded in what is good in terms of taste and the price for it, right? Um, and so when we do genuinely give high praise to a place, we think it's well within our scope to go. Like, you can eat there fairly often, and it's worth the price, and you'll be happy with the quality and taste that you get from it.
Yeah. Like, what was the other place that we gave super high praise to?
I would say California Fish Grill.
Oh yeah, Fish Grill. That place is definitely worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, that's not even about this episode, so
Yeah. Back to the, culinary, what was it?
confusion.
Confusion cuisines. And so this whole thing amalgamates to the fact that once we got the food, we ate it all together, right? Like, we went our separate ways, but we ate it. And if you think about it, it was a combination of sushi and Mexican food with tamales and empanadas. And for you, tacos, too, on the side.
Yep.
And it just kind of reminded me of that time where you talked about this very odd, well, actually two incidents, if you remember, about very odd food pairings that were culinary cuisine, like, areas that you don't normally would mix.
I can only think of one, and I think it might be the same one.
Mm-hmm.
It was a food truck
Yes.
called Dos Chinos. It was a fusion of Mexican and Chinese. And let me tell you, I don't know how that food truck survived. Because it was not good. Like, I think I would almost go to, like, what is it, 7-Eleven for a pizza. Like, it was just not good. I don't think they knew what concept they wanted. Because you get like a chicken bowl, but with like Mexican style like flavors and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, I don't know, you just couldn't tell what it was. It was trying to be like think of like asada flavor, but like with five spice on it or something. It was just so odd. And that is like one thing I probably why I don't like fusion, because most of the time it's not good.
Mm-hmm.
I would say stick to like one or the other. Uh, or just make it like simple. Don't try to go crazy with like your imagination on it.
Mm-hmm.
Just be like, oh, okay, Mexican food and Chinese. Be like, okay, do like a fried rice, but like Mexican spices or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they were just trying too hard. It was just weird to me.
Yeah.
I don't honestly don't remember the other place.
I don't think it was necessarily fusion. It was just rather the food combination was really weird. And if this was to your workplace, it was when someone brought Indian and sushi.
Oh my god, that's yeah, that was right before you came aboard.
Yeah.
So there was a thing they were doing a little like meat like presentation during lunch. So they catered. Our work catered. And the guy who's presenting, we were like, oh, you came out here, you took the time to, teach us your product. What would you like for lunch? And he's like, I want Indian food. And we're like, okay, Indian food it is. So they catered some Indian food. And he's like, what about sushi? And we're like, oh, okay, like you want sushi over the Indian food or something? And he's like, no, well, what about both? And so they're like, okay. And they got sushi and Indian food. And boy, let me tell you, those are very, very different. Indian food has so much spice, like just spicy and all the different spices in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go Japanese with this very plain, like fish. Like you don't add anything to it. It's just the fish,
Mm-hmm.
And so they catered both. I was like, okay, but I don't know how far I want to go into this story because it's pretty funny. But the sushi place was definitely rushed because we didn't give them a whole lot of time because we got a couple party trays, and so and we only gave them like an hour and a half notice before we needed it. And so when you're making, two or three party trays, it's it's gonna be a little sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
So it was definitely sloppy. Some pieces were literally the size of like golf balls. Like the pieces were thick, ginormous. Like they were just rushed, so they didn't roll them very well, so it was just falling apart. And there was one entire roll that wasn't even cut, so it was like a big ass burrito, like not even cut at all. And so I took that home because no one wanted to eat it because they're like it's not cut or whatever. So I was like, fine, I'll take it. And then the Indian food, there was a lot of Indian food, like way too much. And they were just like eating it together. And I was like, it's so conflicting. It's like pure tasting of the fish, and then you get like a bite of like I forget what they ordered, but it was like chicken, something with chicken,
Chicken tikka masala.
probably.
I feel like
But
that's the
then
most common one to get.
yeah, like you get like the subtle fish, and then you take a bite of the Indian food, and it just fucking punches you in the face
Mm-hmm.
because it's so different. And I was just like, who decided this? And they're like, oh yeah, it was the presenter guy. I was like, that makes sense. I'm like, this doesn't make sense at all of what they ordered. But he wanted both, and they were like, sure. I mean, you did take the time to come out here and stuff, so we'll get whatever you want.
It sounded like such a weird time to be in.
It was very weird because what was great was the sushi came first, and they were horking that stuff down like no tomorrow.
Uh huh.
And then the Indian food came in later, and everyone was full, so no one really ate the Indian food. So we had 6 trays of Indian food with like the rice, the chicken, and all this other stuff, and no one really ate it because they ate like 4 rolls of sushi each.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're like, what do we do with all this food? And so we ended up, I think one of our coworkers took most of it.
Mm.
And then I ended up taking the rest of the sushi because I didn't want the Indian food because it's a little too spicy for me.
Mm.
And that was that culinary fusion.
Oh my god, must have been quite an adventure. So this leads on to, I guess, the final part of this video, which is first I want to do 2 rounds of this, right? First round is get 2 countries, right, that you think would be a total mismatch, like the Indian and Japanese food, being, and see which one do you think you could be the most confusing or the worst sounding combination.
Okay. Let me think.
I have to think a little bit too, because I'm trying to all these countries. I'm like, no, maybe. I think I have my answer.
Okay. What are your 2?
African cuisine, and then Iceland cuisine.
Iceland.
Yes.
That is an interesting one. I was thinking like British with like French.
Interesting.
Can you imagine like escargot and baked beans? Like, what?
Oh my god. Oh my god, yeah, that sounds really weird.
Right?
Oh, okay, yeah. Did you just give me an idea? But that's for the second round. So I wonder if people like I know whoever listens to this video at this point, let us know maybe what your weirdest country combinations, or what you think about our country combination. Mine is Africa, and yours is, and one's Iceland, and then yours is French and England.
Yep.
So the next part I want to go is take 2 specific foods that are from different countries, right? And try and just mishmash them together, and which whenever sounds the weirdest or worst would win. And you can't choose disgusting food on purpose.
Okay, so we're trying to make it bad.
Bad and very confusing at the same time.
Okay, so we're not trying to make the fusion work. We're trying
Yeah.
to make it. Okay.
Just like imagine throwing it into like some food combiner and then the monstrosity will come out.
Okay. Let me think. Man. Ooh, that's tough because I can't use anything bad on purpose.
I think I already have my answer. I'll wait a little bit more.
Dude, I can't think. I have to think quick, and it's hard to think quick.
How about a minute more? I'll give you a minute.
Okay. Dang, everything I think of is like actually sounds kind of good.
The irony.
I can't do the opposite. I really can't do the opposite. What the heck?
You can do it.
Dude, I really can't think of one. I'm stumped right now.
How about you give what you think is on your mind? How about that? Let's just go with that one and see how it goes.
Okay. You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I originally thought was like Indian curry, like the sauce,
Uh-huh.
but and then I was like, oh, maybe make it weird and put it in like lasagna or something. And I was like, wait a minute, that kind of sounds good though.
It does sound kind of good.
I was like, that sounds actually kind of good. I'm like, dang it, I can't do that one. Like replace the tomato sauce with the curry,
Uh-huh.
and it just sounds so good.
It does.
I was like, dang it.
Are you ready for my monstrosity?
Yes.
Nashville hot chicken
Okay.
with 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 it's so stupid. Bruh, you know crepes?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nashville hot chicken and crepes.
So like a savory crepe.
But it's Nashville hot chicken. With the fruit crepe specifically. I forgot to mention that.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, so you're just making like a wrap, but the wrap part's a little bit sweet,
Yeah, no. We include the fruits.
like chocolate, like
Yeah.
strawberry or something.
Yeah. Imagine that monstrosity.
Yeah, that I think that beats mine.
Although I have to give it to you, yours sounds really good.
But yeah, that's why I was so sad. I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound bad. It sounds kind of good.
I guess your brain just doesn't want to make you think of anything unpleasant, right?
Yeah, maybe. Because I was trying so many different combinations. Like, nope, that sounds good. Like, nope, that sounds good.
Damn. Damn. Ah.
And then I was like, pizza. But like, and then I don't know why my brain just goes that defaults to Asian.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, dude, let's do like pizza, but with like Thai flavors. And I was like, dang it, that does sound good though.
It does. Damn,
And
we just
was,
uh-huh.
I was like, Korean bulgogi pizza. And I'm like, wait, I've actually had that before. And so I was like, oh.
I've had I had kimchi pizza before.
Kimchi pizza.
I loved it.
I was gonna say, that sounds interesting.
I loved it, dude. It was so good. Dude, maybe you should do that. New business idea of what's it called? Thai pizza.
Yeah, instead just put like Thai curry
Mm-hmm.
sauce or something, and then I don't know, some other Thai flavors like basil or something in there. Make it good, or I don't know.
Maybe you'll have to make one by for yourself one day.
Maybe.
So,
Couldn't think of anything weird.
yeah, it is actually kind of hard now to think about it.
Oh, make that Krabby Patty that almost killed the health inspector in SpongeBob. But they made that bad on purpose. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, because I could have just said something easily, like surströmming.
What was it?
Surströmming. You don't know the world's smelliest fish?
Nope.
Yeah, I have to show you a video of it. It's so putrid that the moment you open the can, it just stinks so bad it makes you vomit.
Pair that up with durian.
Oh my god, a chemical warfare?
Yep.
Ooh boy. So those of you listening who's gotten to this point, if you have any terrible culinary confusion cuisines around, let us know. I'm dying to know if there's anything that's like really bad combinations or really weird combinations. But unfortunately, we'll have to end the episode here. So I'm Jin,
And I'm Saki.
and this is the Casuals, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.